Hello, Matilda. Are you there? I just wanted to say thank you so much for coming to my birthday party yesterday. And thank you so much for helping with the cooking as well. The steaks that you brought were the star of the show.
Hello, Debbie. I'm really happy that you enjoyed them. The pleasure was all mine.
By the way, there was actually something that I wanted to talk to you about that I wasn't able to mention yesterday. I was just wondering if there have been any developments on the kid front?
The kid front? You mean you're curious when your son and I are going to have kids?
Well, I know that this isn't the first time we've talked about this subject, and you know how badly I want to have grandkids so soon as possible.
I know. And I thought that we agreed on the other times that we've talked about this was that it was going to be a decision between Max and I, right?
You really think that excuse is still going to work on me? You and my son have been married for 3 whole years already, and soon it's going to be a 4th. I want my grandchildren, and I want them now, young lady.
Well, we are trying our best, Debbie.
And just what is that supposed to mean? Are you getting some kind of fertility treatment done, or something like that? Don't tell me that you went to a doctor and they told you that you couldn't even have kids.
No, it's nothing like that at all, thank you very much.
Well, then you must not be trying very hard, since there are still no grandkids that I have. Maybe you should go see a doctor and have them take a look at you. Because at this point, Max's younger brother is going to be giving me grandkids before you do. After all, his wife is still young, and it's much more likely to work out. Although I have to say that this whole situation just makes me ashamed of my eldest son.
I really don't think that a baby should be something that is rushed or just done to fulfill a sense of obligation. Wouldn't you prefer that Max and I have a child on our own terms?
At this rate, Max isn't even going to take over his father's company, even though he's the eldest child.
Sorry, what do you mean by that? Was Max even supposed to take over your husband's company? Because he's already not working for the family business anymore. He works for another company right now.
I know that he's working for a different company now, but I'm still going to have him take over the company when his father retires. If I'm being honest with you, Max's little brother John really isn't the brightest when it comes to business stuff. Not to mention that he's even living at home with me since he's been having money problems, but I won't hesitate to give him the job over Max.
Well, I really don't know how else to tell you this, but I don't really think that Max even wants his dad's job, so...
What are you talking about? That can't be right at all. This is his family's legacy, Max's birthright. Of course he wants to take over the family business.
Well, I heard that you and him already talked about this and that he said he didn't want it.
I know, but the last time we talked about this, Max was still too young to really understand. I'm just sure of it that he's come around and would love to run the family business. He just needed a bit more time to mature and see things my way.
I'm really not so sure about that, Debbie.
Well, thankfully, this is something that really doesn't involve you anyways. So how about you just worry about making me my grandchildren? And tell Max that he needs to be a good eldest son for his family. If you don't do this, well, let's just say that there are plenty of pretty young women who would love to be married to a man like my son. So if you don't want him to leave you, I recommend showing some initiative.
Debbie, you can't honestly think that you have the power to make Max and I get a divorce, right?
You really have no idea just where you stand, do you? I am sick and tired of arguing. Just give me babies now. Honestly, you should just quit your job and focus entirely on trying to become a mother for my future grandchildren. You are going to get pregnant by the end of the year, or else. And if you can't, then you can go ahead and kiss your marriage to Max goodbye. Hello there, Matilda. I just wanted to let you know that John's wife Rachel is pregnant.
Oh, really? Well, that's great news. I should call and congratulate her.
Not only that, but she already knows that it's going to be a girl.
Oh, I see. Well, that's amazing. I bet she must be so excited to have a beautiful baby daughter on the way.
Are you being serious right now? Don't you realize this means she's going to beat you?
You mean she's going to have a child before I do? I don't really care about that at all.
You mean you really think that this is a good thing? This isn't a good thing at all. Besides, what am I supposed to do with a useless granddaughter, huh? All this proves is that Rachel is a horrible wife and an even worse daughter-in-law.
I'm sorry, but how does having a daughter make her any of those things at all? I really think that you need to get out of this antiquated mindset when it comes to family legacies and inheritance.
You mean that you think it's fine if my husband's company was taken over by a woman?
I think that your husband's company should be taken over by whoever is most qualified for the position, man or woman.
Oh, I see what's going on here. I suppose I should have expected as much from a lowly office grunt like you. You're just incapable of understanding how things work on this high of a level. And more importantly, are you pregnant yet?
Nope, I am still not pregnant, thank you for asking.
You really must think that you're going to be young forever or something like that, huh? Don't you realize that you're already in your 30s? You need to think about having children now before it's too late.
Thank you for your concern, Debbie. I will be sure to put some thought into that.
I really don't think that you will, though. I mean, if you did, then you would already be pregnant by now. I want you to go to a doctor next week. Make an appointment right now.
And just why would I need to go to the doctor's?
Well, because I heard from a friend that she was able to get treatment for her fertility issues by seeing a doctor about them. So I think that you should go and figure out what's wrong with you.
Actually, there was something that I wanted to talk to you about all of this pregnancy business.
Oh, really? Well, what is it?
I just think you should know that I talked to Max about this too. He told me that if you said anything about me being pregnant again, that I should tell this to you. And the truth is that we're already seeking medical help for fertility issues.
I knew it. I knew that you couldn't have children.
Well, not quite. You see, the doctors found that I wasn't the one with the issue. It was actually Max.
Wait a second. You're telling me that Max is the one with trouble getting you pregnant?
It appears that way. Now, I don't really know the medical explanation for all of it. For that, you would have to call Max and talk to him yourself. I'm sure that he'd be able to explain things to you better than I could.
This can't be, right? I don't believe it. You're telling me that there's something wrong with my son's... the swimmers?
Again, I really am not the right person to be asking these questions to.
No, I don't believe it. You're lying to me. You have to be. I know that my son is the poster child of good health. He's hardly ever been sick, even when he was little.
Well, I am not lying to you. I'm just telling you what he has passed along to me.
I don't believe it. I have to go and talk to Max right now.
Yeah, I think that would be better than this. But anyways, that's why I didn't think you were going to be able to split us up for not having any kids together. And I'll never leave my husband just because of his condition. I promise you that.
That isn't why I want to go and talk to him. I want to talk to him because if I find out that you're lying to me, then I really will make him leave you. If it's really you who can't have kids, then I'm going to make you pay for lying to me like that. Hey there, Matilda. Is now a good time to message you?
Oh, hey, Rachel. It's been a long time, no? Also, I heard that you were pregnant. So let me just say congratulations on that. If there's anything you need help with or anything I can do for you, just let me know.
Well, thank you so much for those kind words, Matilda. Although, you wouldn't guess this was a good thing from the reactions we've gotten over here.
Oh, you mean over there as in Debbie's house? I understand she's kind of upset about it being a girl.
That's right. And to think that someone could really even care about that in this day and age. I'm being treated as if I chose the sex of the baby on purpose just to disappoint Debbie or something.
I've been thinking about that a lot recently. Are you sure that it's a good idea for you to both live in that house? I mean, it just seems like Debbie and them are being really mean to you and putting you through a lot.
It's true, though. I was worried when I first moved in here, but now I just regret doing it at all. But that's why John and I are coming up with a plan in secret to get out of this situation.
But won't that be really difficult for you while you're pregnant? Although even I've been thinking that it would be good to look for ways to put distance between Debbie and myself. And I know that if I had a kid on the way, I would want them to be in as safe an environment as possible.
Thank you so much for understanding, Matilda, but, you know, this isn't even what I wanted to talk to you about in the first place.
Oh, right. Well, I guess we should just get into it then.
Well, I heard that you were going to be visiting next week, but whatever you do, don't come, okay?
Wait, what? I wasn't expecting this. Where is this all coming from?
Well, it's just, people are acting really strangely around here, so whatever you do, don't come.
I don't understand what you mean by that. I mean, isn't it just going to be our husband's family there? What do you mean they're acting weird? Weird how?
I mean, they've just not been acting like themselves. And what's worse, I think they're going to try and make you have a kid with some stranger.
What do you mean, some stranger? What does that even mean? I'm sorry, but I'm really not understanding what you're trying to tell me. But whatever it is, it really doesn't sound good at all.
I mean that you were going to be coming to stay with us next week. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that is right. I was going to go over and maybe spend a couple nights.
Well, the thing is that I heard Debbie talking about setting up separate rooms for you and Max. And I think they're going to use that to bring in this strange guy.
But what in the world is going on over there? Don't they realize it's a crime?
I know, it's just terrible, but I really do think that they're up to something around here. The other night, I got up to use the bathroom and I heard John's parents talking to each other late at night. I almost thought I was dreaming because what they were saying was so crazy. But it was real, and that's really what they were talking about.
Now that you say that, Debbie was uncharacteristically nice to me when she invited us over the other day.
Well, I also heard from Debbie that you told her Max was having some fertility issues. Is that right?
Yeah, it is true, unfortunately. But we're still not giving up on having kids. And there's no way that not having kids would ever drive us apart anyways.
Of course not. You two married each other because you love each other. I feel the same way about John.
But then, what is Debbie's problem? Why is she acting like this? I don't get it. Doesn't she understand how ridiculous she's being? Although now I have to wonder about what she might have in store for me if even I say that I'm not going next week.
I know what you mean. At this point, it might be best to just cut her out of our lives entirely.
I know, but don't you worry that that would mean you would be the target of Debbie's ire? I mean, if Max and I tried to run away, then there's no way that she would ever let you and John go. Especially since you're pregnant. That just adds a whole new layer to worry about.
I know, but don't you get that you're in danger right now, Matilda?
It's okay. It might be a long shot, but I think I have a good idea of how we can all get out of this okay.
You have an idea of what to do about Debbie? But what is it?
Well, in order for this to work, I'll have to go to Debbie's house next week. But after that, she should stay out of our lives. Forever.
Hello there, Matilda. I really hope that you're not thinking of going to the police about this. I just hope you know that this won't go well for you if you do. And just think about what's going to happen to us. You'll completely ruin our family business.
And just why in the world do you think I should care about that?
Because you married into our family. You have duties to us.
And is that why you sicked some strange man on me while I was alone in my room? Thankfully, your sons and Rachel were there to stop anything terrible from happening. If I'd been all by myself, then who knows what would have happened. But I suppose that's how you pictured it when you planned this. I don't care if you are my mother-in-law. I don't have to take being treated like this.
But surely you see that I was doing all this for you, right? I mean, I was just so worried about you not having any children yet. And since I found out that you weren't the one with the fertility issues, I just figured that this would work.
What would work? That I would just carry some complete stranger's child to term with no questions asked?
Well, I just assumed that you would be asleep and that man could sneak into your room while you were asleep.
Yeah, I'm sure that you would have preferred it if I never noticed what was going on.
But I just thought that if you got pregnant, that it would bring you and Max closer together. I was only doing this for you and Max. Can't you see that?
And just how in the world was me having another man's baby supposed to bring Max and I closer together? This wasn't for either of us. This is all for you. You're the one who is most hung up on this baby issue. And when you found out that it was actually your son with the fertility issues, you just couldn't stand that, could you?
But you don't understand. We don't have someone to take on the family's mantle after Max and John.
Well, now you have no one to take on the mantle since neither John nor Max want anything to do with the family business at all anymore. And even if we did have a son, there's no way that we would let you decide what his life would be. Our child's future would be up to us as parents and our child themselves.
But that can't be. Our company has always had a male president. Max is going to take over, and then your future son was going to take over after Max.
Well, Max said that he doesn't want to work for a company that would do something like this just to find an heir. Not only that, but he knows all about how the company has been going into the red so that you and your husband could line your pockets. What's the point of working for a company that exploits their workers like you do?
Please, you can't do this to us. You're going to destroy all that our ancestors have worked for. At least hand over your child to me when he's born so that I can raise him.
Did you seriously just ask me that? You really think that I would ever do something like that? You really need to get a grip, lady, because what you just attempted was a crime. You do realize that, don't you?
I know. It was bad, I know, but I promise that I'll never, ever say other things about having kids as long as you don't go to the cops about this.
I think I'll have to give that a thought after Rachel and John move out.
No! You have to promise me that you won't ever go to the police right now. If the cops get involved, then that means our family's name is going to be dragged through the mud. I need you to promise me right now, or else I'll never be able to sleep.
Well, if you're worried about protecting your reputation, then you should have never done this in the first place. Not only that, but Max and I are also going to cut you out of our lives. We don't want anything to do with you anymore.
What do you mean? You can't do that. I'm Max's mother. I'm your mother-in-law. You can't just cut us out so easily.
Oh, well, you don't need to worry about that, because it's already happened. In fact, Max has told the rest of your family about this.
Wait, what? What is that supposed to mean?
I mean that Max let everyone know what you were plotting to do, and asked them all to think very hard about associating with you in the future.
But then, that means that all our relatives already know about this.
That's right. We've told them everything that you were planning, and now they know what you tried to put me through.
You have to stop this, please! Tell them you were lying to me. Don't you realize the rumors that are going to be caused from this?
Rumors? Don't you mean the truth? Because that's all that I told them. I never said anything that wasn't true.
Please, you have to make this stop. I'm so sorry for everything. I'm sorry, okay? Just please, don't go to the police and tell my relatives that you were lying.
I'm not going to do that. You'll just have to learn how to live with the consequences of what you've done. I don't have anything to do with you anymore. And if you try to do anything to get back at me for this, I will not hesitate to drag you to court for this. After that, John and Rachel were able to safely move out of Debbie's house. They cut off John's parents and never, ever heard from them again. As for me, I still haven't filed a police report about this. But I did make Debbie and her husband swear to leave Rachel and John alone. I even got it in writing. I told them that if they ever broke their promises that I would drag them to court and sue them for their sick baby-making scheme. Then I told them to stay away from Max and I as well. It isn't that I didn't want to go to the police about this, but I understood that I had leverage and wanted to do whatever I could to make sure that Rachel and her baby were safe. A few months later, Max's family business finally went bankrupt under his father's management. There was even an article about how the company lacked any heir in the family willing to step up and try to fix the business's troubles. Last I heard, Max's parents had to sell their house and downsize their lives greatly. I heard later on, through the grapevine, that the two of them were not doing great. Even after downsizing their life and moving into their tiny apartment, their savings were not enough to take care of them for the rest of their lives. I heard that both of them are working again, although because their company's reputation was tarnished, there wasn't a single serious job that would hire them. As a result, I've heard that they are both working multiple part-time jobs, barely making enough to cover their expenses. Finally, Max and I found out that I was pregnant. Of course, with Max's baby. I'm already several months pregnant, and we're excited to welcome our baby into a world where they won't be controlled by their cruel grandparents. We even told Rachel and John about this, and they were so excited to meet their new niece or nephew. Although I was also skeptical about Max's parents, I am so happy that my marriage to him has brought me closer to his brother and Rachel. It just goes to show you that family is more than a complex system of blood ties. It is about finding the people who make you feel safe and loved and never letting them go. Although there's no guarantee that something crazy won't ever happen in life again, I doubt it would ever be as ludicrous as what Max's parents tried to do to me. And as long as I can protect my family from anything like that happening to them, then I will have felt like I have succeeded as a wife and mother. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.